Well, hello there. Welcome back to my little library. It's actually a public library, but it is little, and it is mine while I'm in it. Actually, my little library is the library in my brain. It's whatever I get, whatever spills out of the Akashic records into my crown chakra and my third eye and gets expressed through this medium to you. The point of doing this is sharing our passions. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. Why tarot and astrology work. This just came to me, you guys, and it's all because of the mind of a scientist. And he probably didn't come up with what he said, but it was the context in which I viewed this question that has just pulled me through this muck of seriously reevaluating why I use tarot and astrology in my life, and if they really mean anything, and if they hold significance. And that's when I came to this conclusion on how tarot and astrology really do work. So, let's start off with this simple concept. Everything is a tarot card in your life. And yes, sometimes I have synchronicities and symbols and things that are supposed to mean things that happen to me that just feel like they lead nowhere, and I'm like, what is going on? But then later on down the road, when it finally hits me, it's like, there it is again. And it came just at the right time, and just in a slightly different way this time. But it marked my experience in that moment and made me realize something, made me kind of go, aha, okay, I made the connection now. So sometimes a tarot card in your life can go on for weeks without you knowing what the hell it even means. And a tarot card is just a symbol. It's something in your life with symbolic meaning that is there to trigger something in you, to either bring something out of your subconscious or to help you tap into the Akashic records in that moment and just realize something amazing and go, okay, so this is what it's all about. So with that concept in mind, now take the archetypes of the tarot and astrology. We all know, as tarot readers and astrologers, that everybody has every archetype that can possibly exist present in their life in some way, at some point, somehow, which makes archetypes technically very general. This is the part that makes me have a difficult time sometimes. Is that it's like, okay, maybe everything's just so general that it just applies to everyone, and that's why it works, is because it's just a big hoax, created by Mattel or whoever was the first person to distribute tarot cards, and that's the reason why you can give a reading and the person goes, oh my god, I totally like eating and breathing, how did you know that? But no, that's not how tarot readings actually are. And this question alone just gave me so much doubt. I had to go back in my mind through every tarot reading I could ever remember doing and think, okay, what was it that made those readings special? What was it that gave them the significance for me and the person and the moment? Why did it work? Why did it happen that way? Why did it enrich that person's life? And how is it a skill in my arena? How is my skill applicable to helping other people's lives? And yes, the question. Now I'm going to say what the question was because it's very important. His question was, he was taking two separate newspapers and reading just the literal most general astrology columns for the same sign and going, well, it seems that this sign says it's time to reconsider their beliefs. But this one says to stay true to your values. So those are kind of contradictory, aren't they? And so yeah, he made a point that's very valid, which is if you go on YouTube and you look at all the astrologers and you look at all the tarot readers, they're going to say different things about the same transits. And really, it's about who you're listening to that's going to help you manifest, okay, the desired outcome in your life. But where manifestation and prediction kind of meet, and this is the core of what I'm trying to say with this video, is it's all about synchronicity. Okay, so if you're a person who doesn't experience a lot of synchronicity, that may mean that you're not necessarily connected with your higher self in a big way, or you just maybe aren't very like symbolically minded, like you don't see the connections between the synchronicities that are happening to you and the meaning that it holds for your emotional life and your relationships and your direction, your goals, how to make your fantasies come to life, how to make your desires a reality, and how that relates to your soul. And so basically, if you're out of connection with your soul and your purpose on this earth, you may not have a lot of synchronicities in your life. I noticed at a very young age, so I don't know anybody else's experience, but I noticed at a very young age that I was having metaphysical experiences and, not being able to put them into context because I didn't know what to think. My grandpa is a strict atheist, my mom's a strict spiritualist. Okay, strict spiritualist, that's kind of an oxymoron, but she was kind of pushy about it growing up, so I didn't want to be pushing anything, and that's why every time a synchronicity or spiritual experience happened to me, I was very like intellectual about it. But the deepest feeling inside me has always been, dang, I want to do some transcendental meditation. I wanna do lucid dreaming. I want to be able to be psychic. I want to do all these things ever since I was a little kid. And as synchronicity started to increase in my life, that desire just continued to grow stronger and stronger and stronger. What never left me was that need to question everything and still be on top of the whole, like, okay, but I don't just blindly believe things. Like, that's what makes me legitimate, is I don't just fall into whatever set of beliefs are thrown at me. I consider and seriously mull them over from every single angle. That's what I do as an Aquarius moon. Even as an Aries sun sign ready to charge into things, the Aquarius moon gives me that process that I really appreciate. And my ability to understand myself and the way I've been my whole life through astrology is incredible, okay? And the reason why I'm making this video, okay, is because despite being very good at giving tarot readings, I've never truly understood how or why these things work. And that's what's made it really hard for me. It's been a challenge in terms of like charging for readings, which sometimes I only ask a donation, sometimes I don't charge at all. But most of the time I do charge because it is a skill that I've cultivated, that I feel that I put a lot of energy into every single reading that I do. And if I'm putting a lot of energy into something, it means something, and it's special. So, yeah, and all the mulling over I did and realizing that it's all about synchronicity, the phrase that caught me and the phrase that put the faith back in me for my tarot readings was this. It's about how things fall into place. Okay? So the general readings on YouTube, the ones that are meant for you and the ones that are going to give you the best messages, are the ones that you feel strongly pulled towards from the beginning. Okay, you're not just watching it just out of a, okay, whatever, I don't care, sort of feeling, or if you feel resistant towards it, there's probably a reason for that. The way things fall into place is, it doesn't matter if it's a reading on YouTube or the sound of a bell that's very distinctive that keeps ringing over and over at different times in your life, or it always rings when you're thinking a specific thought, or whatever that is. It's meant for you. It's a message of the universe meant for you. So I don't care if it is one of those, general ass astrology readings that are totally just hype. If you look at that page and it says one word that has a deeper meaning triggering within you, then that reading was meant for you, and that reading held value, and that reading, just from the intention of it being a reading, gave you something as a person who's spiritual. So, the more connected you are with your spiritual path, the more that those things are going to kind of line up and fall into place. I may need to make another video at a separate time about why it is that these things increase and start to fall into place more when you allow, perhaps it's the fact that you allow yourself to see it more. But what I notice in my tarot readings is a trend. The cards I get will line up with the transits that I'm experiencing in my chart. It'll be lining up with whatever I know is just beneath the surface. And when I see the card, I go, oh my God. And that's what it's for. Bless. It was just 11:11 when I said, oh my God. It's just... Sorry, that meant a lot to me. See, and it may not mean anything to you. It may mean literally jack shit to you. But if I give somebody a tarot reading and it gives them that, like, oh my God moment, where they realize that something they're doing is off, something they're doing needs to be reevaluated, or, oh, now I know. Now I just know, and I feel comfortable, and I feel ready, and I'm just gonna go. Like, that's why I do tarot readings for people, is because it generates a feeling of security. And it may even trigger something deep like sadness or grief that needs to come up for the person. And for me, what happened in this last reading that I gave myself, which I used a new deck, the Salvador Dali Tarot deck, which a friend from high school gave to me, and I just thought that that was a really special experience. I was like, I know that the reading that I need is in this book. I know that here, let me just grab it. I'm going to read off the placements for you. Okay, I'm back. So the other thing is the context of which the cards fall. So it's how things fall into place, and it's the context under which they're falling into place. So these archetypes may be incredibly general, but how they fall into place, and especially if you read from two separate decks in one reading and you get the same card in both readings, then that card is especially significant, and it marks the vibration of the reading of the idea that you're supposed to get from the whole thing. So this is the reason why I use this spread right here, is the wording, okay? The number 3 position, which is the future position, says the future, or that which needs to be newly evaluated. You know, me, Aquarius, loves words like evaluated to make me feel really smart. But yeah, that's all the future really is. That which needs to be newly evaluated. And the card that I got for that was the Queen of Swords. And in the situation position was the Ace of Wands, which is like my passion. So this whole thing with Venus retrograde for me is all about my passion and my authenticity. Which, if you go and look at all of the readings, it's Venus, it's like Queen of Swords is the Libra card, okay, first of all. And part of this Venus retrograde is in Libra. I don't need to go through the whole thing for you guys, but all I'm saying is the cards I got in that reading made sense within the context of what's happening in my personal transits in my chart, which I looked at today, and I just said, oh my God, this makes so much sense from how I'm feeling right now and all the situations that have been happening in the past couple days. So yeah, it's personalized. It's about you. Which brings me to another thing. I am just about ready to start doing my readings again. I'm just about ready to start pumping them out, you guys. I want to revamp this whole thing. That's another thing with my Venus retrograde experience, is I want to reevaluate the whole way I do readings. And with that, I'm going to be like doing a few free readings for you guys. So keep that in mind, and like and subscribe for more information on that. Thank you very much for watching this, and blessed be.